Hi, we're here at the European SharePoint Office 365 and Azure conference here in Prague. And I'm fortunate today to have with me Thorsten Hans. Thorsten, could
Hi.
you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, your area of focus, and maybe something about you that not many people know about?
Okay, so yeah, as you already introduced, my name is Thorsten Hans. I'm from Germany. I'm an MVP in the Azure area, and currently I mainly focus on cloud native computing and infrastructure as code solutions with Terraform and others.
Right.
Something that not many people know about me, man. Okay, I've been doing Java as a
Right.
main language for around about 4 years. I mean, that's almost 2 decades ago.
Right.
But yeah, that's still one hidden secret in,
Right. On your
in my
resume.
records.
On your resume. All right. Now, the interesting thing is that you mentioned Java. As I'm introducing the topic and introducing the conference, I mentioned SharePoint, Office 365, Azure. This started as a SharePoint conference alone. But over the years, we've seen Office 365 creep in, and we've seen basically now Azure in there as well. How have you? What's your take on that? The fact that it's not just SharePoint anymore, and there's so much diversity in terms of the topics that are being presented.
Well, you're right. It started as a dedicated product conference for SharePoint. So I think it was back in 2011 or so. But we see all the products merging together in Microsoft.
Right.
And so we see a lot of newcomers, appearing on the screen. The entire cloud story has to be addressed somehow. And the good thing is we saw a lot of community members merging into other topics and
Right.
mixing technologies to, get requirements done and build solutions effectively. So I think that's actually a good thing to have multiple products being addressed at a single conference.
Right. Excellent. That's great feedback. So you yourself, you talked about the fact that you've had a variety in terms of technology stack that you've been working with. What sessions have you delivered so far, and what sessions do you have yet to deliver? And how is that in terms of the SharePoint, the Office of Azure? Where do you fall within all of that?
Well, you know me for a couple of years, so I was in SharePoint business back in those days, but then I moved on to more cloudy things. So I'm here to present a session on infrastructure as code, so how developers or infrastructure guys and girls can spin up and maintain Azure infrastructure using Terraform. That's tooled by HashiCorp.
Right.
So that gives you a whole bunch of benefits when it comes to predictability about it, or it addresses how to spin up robust infrastructures in no time and have full control over it.
Right.
So that is the topic I'm focusing or I'm delivering right here this year. And so yeah, it's actually one of the main topics I'm currently deep in. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So not just the Terraform that you're delivering right here today, but in general, with your wide array of experiences, what would you say are some of the things that people should be paying attention to now? And it could be infrastructure, it could be dev, it could just be the way the industry is pivoting. What advice would you give people in terms of the thing that they should be paying attention to right now in today's day and age?
Well, we see several movements in, not only in Microsoft, in the entire tech is towards serverless computing, and
Right.
the another direction is container architecture, so cloud native computing. So there's happening a lot in products like AKS
Right.
or Azure Functions, where we
Right.
see new versions on the horizon appearing. We see continuously deeper integration with other Azure services. So, for example, Azure Security Center, which allows you to monitor containers and images on certain levels and gives you more insights at runtime about how your application behaves and protects you from spinning up malicious images in a
Right.
distributed application. So
Right.
there's a lot happening in the cloud native business in
Right.
those days, and we see actually Microsoft taking the pitch and having the lead at some point to push AKS even further and provide a great managed service for developers.
Right.
to run their mission critical services.
Absolutely. So, for people who are either just starting out, or for people that like myself and you, who started off in SharePoint, but now we use SharePoint somewhat ancillary in terms of the work that we're doing.
Yeah.
Where would you say for people is the best place to find and learn about these technologies to basically shorten that ramp? All of the pains that we did in the early days in terms of getting to where we are. How can we advise people today to get this knowledge so they can be better, quicker, faster?
Yeah, learning in these days maybe complicated because there's so many resources and places you could go to. What I think is one of the best places or sources is currently the Microsoft documentation, so docs.microsoft.com. Because if you're in the Microsoft ecosystem, it's easy to adopt new tech stacks by just saying, how can I bring this technology into my product to get something up and running?
Right.
So they use all the familiar terms, everything you already know, perhaps from SharePoint or O365. So yeah, docs.microsoft.com is a good place. Then obviously Channel 9.
Right.
So especially for AKS, there are tons of videos and shows, so weekly shows where they share news and they show best practices, how to adopt it, how get something up and running in the cloud. So I prefer video, for example, while traveling around. So you can just download the let's say 4 episodes and consume them while being disconnected, and that's a great way to get started. Actually,
sure, fantastic. So for people who are coming here for the first time, we have us who have been here for many years, but people that are certainly coming here for the first time. And notwithstanding the technology alone, is there any advice that you'll give people who are just new to this conference in terms of things that they should do, not do, pay attention to a little bit more, interactions that you want to call out?
Well, so historically, I mean, SharePoint is a big community, right? So I think key is to somehow interact with the community. They're all open-minded, so it's just about introducing yourself and just throw you in that bunch of people that's staying around that corner. That works out pretty well. So I think interacting with the folks in, like, for example, Ask the Experts area or in the expo hall, that's key to get connected to someone.
Exactly.
I mean, of course, you can just walk by right after the session, ask your questions, get those answered to actually, grab more knowledge about a certain topic. But staying connected with the community, I think that's key. That's the key of how to interact with all the different
Absolutely. I couldn't
people.
agree more. I tell people all the time, when you come here, meet people that you don't know, develop relationships, because once you leave here, you now have a wealth of resource that you can call back into someone and say, I'm stuck, and chances are you can tap into an expert.
Yeah, I do the same when I'm listening to talks. So I have OneNote and I just scribble down some words to have my Google index to research right after conference. But at conference, I try to focus during the talks on the topic, and in between of the talks, it's all about getting connected with the folks that is at the conference.
Certainly. All right. Well, I want to thank Thorsten Hans for joining me today and giving us the benefit of his insights and some of the topics that we're here at the European SharePoint Office 365 and Azure Conference here in Prague. Thank you, Thorsten.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay.